Okay, so like trying to keep up with all these new blockchains and their scaling solutions, it's kind of like it's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded while riding a unicycle.
Yeah, I get it. It can feel overwhelming for sure. People just want to know what matters and why should I even care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why we do these deep dives. So today we're tackling abstract.
All right, and abstract is entering this crazy world with a really specific vision. It's a layer 2 network built on Ethereum, but get this, it's laser focused on what they call consumer crypto.
Consumer crypto. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. The stuff we dug into today, articles, their official docs, even some like really hyped up community posts, paints a pretty clear picture of what they're up to.
Yep. We got their launch on the horizon, the tech behind it all, and this whole ecosystem they're building out.
It is a lot to unpack. So our mission today is to cut through all the noise, and give you the key takeaways. What's the big idea and why should you care? Especially if you're interested in the future of crypto.
Totally. And to give you a taste of this consumer angle, Abstract has a pretty surprising connection to Pudgy Penguins.
Wait, really? Like those cute NFT penguins?
Yeah, those guys. It's a clear sign they're not just aiming to be another DeFi platform.
Right. Okay, so let's break it down. First things first, what exactly is Abstract?
So at its core, Abstract is what's called a ZK rollup, operating as a layer 2 on top of Ethereum.
Okay, so like an upgrade or an add-on.
Think of it like an express lane right next to the main Ethereum high day. Handles transactions way faster, way cheaper.
But still as secure as Ethereum, right?
Exactly. It inherits that rock-solid security. And the ZK rollup part, that's about the cryptography they use. Zero-knowledge proofs, bunching up transactions, verifying them super efficiently on Ethereum.
Gotcha. Speed, lower fees, same security. Makes sense. Now, you mentioned this consumer first thing. What does that actually look like?
This is where things get really interesting. They're not trying to be everything to everyone, Abstract's focusing on apps that'll resonate with everyday internet users.
So less about the hardcore DeFi stuff.
Exactly. Their ambition is to be like crypto's digital amusement park is how they put it. Think engaging, user-friendly, fun.
A digital amusement park. I like that. So less about complex financial tools and more about games, social apps, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Their big goal is to be the most entertaining place on the internet, all powered by blockchain.
Bold move. Right. Because isn't there a chance that approach makes them seem less serious compared to other platforms going for those traditional financial apps?
That's a fair point, for sure. But here's the thing. The tech underneath is still super solid and powerful. The idea is get people hooked with the fun stuff.
Okay, I see. It's like getting your foot in the door. Draw people in with the entertainment and then start offering more, right?
Exactly. Think of it as like a super smooth on-ramp to this whole Web3 world.
That makes sense. And they've got some serious firepower to back this up, right?
Oh, yeah. They raised a cool $11 million in funding. Big names like Founders Fund are leading the charge. And from everything we've seen, their mainnet launch is set for January 2025.
January 2025. Definitely marking that on the calendar. All right, so we got the vision. Now let's dive into the tech side. What's the secret sauce that makes this amusement park possible?
What's really smart is they're building on top of proven tech. Abstract didn't reinvent the wheel. They're using this thing called the ZK stack.
ZK stack?
Yeah, it's a framework built by the team behind ZKsync. Think of it like a toolkit for creating ZK rollups.
Okay, so instead of designing every little thing from scratch, they're using these pre-made building blocks.
Exactly. And that's brilliant because it speeds up development. They're using ready-made, tested components, stuff like sequencers. They order transactions and provers, which create those zero-knowledge proofs.
So it's like a well-oiled machine, right? Parts that already work together.
Yeah, and it means smoother interoperability with other blockchains using the same ZK stack. Think of different parts of the amusement park seamlessly connected.
I like that analogy. Now, for developers already working with Ethereum, what's the learning curve like to build on Abstract?
That's a big win for Abstract. They've got EVM compatibility, which stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine Compatibility.
EVM compatibility. That sounds pretty technical.
It basically means most smart contracts, the code behind dApps, that already work on Ethereum can run on Abstract pretty much as is.
So it's like speaking the same language.
Exactly. Lower barrier for devs to jump in, less time, fewer resources wasted. It's a big draw.
Makes sense. Developer friendly is crucial. Now, one thing that pops up a lot in our research is this Abstract Global Wallet, AGW. What's so special about it?
The AGW is a big part of their consumer focus. It's a cross-application smart contract wallet. Their goal is to make onboarding super smooth.
No more messing around with seed phrases in a million different wallets?
Nope. AGW wants to give you a single account to access all the dApps in Abstract's ecosystem. You sign up once, and you're good to go.
And how do you sign up?
Oh, it's super flexible. Email address, social media like Google or Twitter, even passkeys. Plus, you can connect existing crypto wallets like MetaMask.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't need a new wallet for every single game or platform you try. That's awesome for the average person.
Right. No more crypto headaches. And under the hood, it's really clever how they do it.
Okay, tell me more.
It's a two-step process. First, it creates an EOA in the background, an externally owned account. That's the classic Ethereum account, controlled by a private key.
Okay, so that's the familiar part.
Exactly. Then, on top of that, they deploy a smart contract wallet, the AGW. And that initial EOA becomes one of the authorized signers for it.
So it's like a base layer and then a more advanced layer on top.
Perfect analogy. It's a familiar starting point, but then the smart contract wallet brings in all the advanced features. Recovery, spending limits, you name it.
Right, okay. So what are the actual benefits of using a smart contract wallet versus just the plain EOA?
Smart contract wallets unlock so much potential. Things standard EOAs just can't do. Built-in recovery if you lose your device, for example. Spending limits for better security. And way more flexibility with approving transactions.
That's a game changer, especially for people just getting into crypto.
Right. Features like multiple signatures for big transactions, stuff like that. It's all about user-friendliness and security.
That peace of mind is huge. Now, beyond the EGW, there's this thing called native account abstraction. That sounds a little intimidating, honestly.
I know, right? But it's actually really cool. So on Ethereum, you've got these EOAs, right, controlled by private keys.
Right, we talked about that.
The thing is, EOAs have limits. No built-in recovery, you have to use ETH for gas fees, and they can't really be programmed with custom logic.
So they're kind of bare bones.
Pretty much. Ethereum has been working on this idea of account abstraction, basically making every account a smart contract.
It's more flexible, more powerful.
Exactly. But on Ethereum, it's still a work in progress. Abstract took a different approach. They baked native account abstraction in from the start. Every single account on their network IS a smart contract wallet.
Wow, that's a bold move. No more EOAs at all on Abstract.
Nope. And they've got a standardized way for accounts to talk to the network, this thing called the iAccount interface. It's a fundamental shift.
So even if you connect with a regular wallet like MetaMask, behind the scenes, it's all smart contracts.
Exactly. You get the benefits without even realizing it.
Sneaky. I like it. What does that mean for the average user, though? What's the practical impact?
Think about user experience. Native account abstraction is what makes stuff like paymasters possible and gasless transactions, which we'll get into.
Oh, yes. Gasless transactions. Tell me more.
It also underpins those easy recovery options and flexible transaction approvals. But now it's baked into the entire network.
Got it. Okay. So native account abstraction, a big step forward. Now let's talk paymasters and gasless transactions. That's something I think a lot of crypto folks have been dreaming of.
Yeah, for sure. It can really simplify things. So paymasters are smart contracts on Abstract that can cover gas fees for users.
Wait, so I could use a dApp without needing Abstract's native token for fees?
Exactly. dApps or even third-party services could step in as paymasters.
Interesting. So like free trials for dApps.
Exactly. Or imagine paying gas with stablecoins, or even the dApp's own token. There could be subscription models, too.
So I wouldn't even have to think about gas fees. That's wild.
Right. It's about making Web3 feel more like the web we're used to.
Love it. Okay, before we move on, can we circle back to ZK rollup tech for a second? I know it makes things faster and cheaper, but how?
Okay, so think of it this way. Transactions actually happen off the main Ethereum blockchain. That's the rollup part.
Ah, so it's happening elsewhere and then.
Exactly. Then they get bundled together in batches, the ZK magic. A cryptographic proof is generated that proves those transactions are legit.
Without redoing all the work on Ethereum.
Exactly. Huge efficiency boost. And this proof gets sent to Ethereum for a quick verification.
Wow, that's clever. So Ethereum just checks the proof and doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting itself.
Right. And then to make things even cheaper and ensure data availability, Abstract uses EIP 4844.
EIP 4844.
Yeah, it's an Ethereum upgrade. Introduced these things called data blobs, a cheaper way to store transaction data.
Got it. So more efficiency, lower costs. Perfect combo to attract users. One last thing. I keep seeing Panoramic Governance mentioned. What is that all about?
Panoramic Governance is Abstract's way of aligning incentives. Developers building apps and the consumers actually using them.
Interesting. So everyone's working towards the same goals. How do they make that happen?
It's all about encouraging participation in governance.
Yeah.
Community decision-making about the blockchain's future.
Right, right.
They do this by sharing transaction fees with users who vote on proposals. Active voters also get to influence how new resources get allocated based on what the community thinks is best.
So if I'm an active voter, I could potentially earn rewards and have a real say in things.
Exactly. They're aiming for a sustainable, user-focused ecosystem.
Okay, so we've covered what Abstract is, how it works. Now let's talk about the who. Who is this digital amusement park actually, FOR? What kind of apps are we seeing pop up in this consumer crypto ecosystem?
Like we've been saying, it's all about the everyday internet user. Not just the crypto diehards. They're going for apps people will genuinely enjoy and find useful.
So what are some examples? What kind of games are we talking about?
Well, one of the big ones is Pudgy World, the official metaverse and gaming platform for Pudgy Penguins, those cute NFTs.
Oh yeah, I know those.
You can make your own penguin character, play mini games, go on quests. It's really engaging.
Sounds fun.
What else? There's Gigaverse, an on-chain RPG by Proof of Play, and On-Chain Heroes, which is cool, an idle RPG with the DeFi elements.
DeFi and an RPG. That's interesting.
Right, but it's done in a super accessible way. What about the trading and financial side?
Yeah, because even a digital amusement park needs some kind of economy, right?
Exactly. Magic Eden, the NFT marketplace, they're expanding to abstract.
So people can trade NFTs with low fees.
Yep. Then there's Pandora Swap, their DeFi suite for decentralized token swaps. And Relay, a DX with instant bridging capabilities.
Instant bridging, that's a big deal.
Right. Makes moving assets around super easy. So yeah, users can trade NFTs and other crypto right within Abstract, no problem.
Awesome. What about the social and entertainment side of things? Any cool projects there?
Plenty. Gotcha is one, a platform designed to simplify crypto with fun, user-friendly activities. Then there's Alphabot, creating a Web3 raffle hub. Houston focuses on community rewards and launching new projects.
Raffles, rewards, I like the sound of that.
Right. And then there's Ray, a decentralized attention portal. Super interesting concept.
Decentralized attention portal, that's got my attention for sure.
Yeah, it's about rethinking how we engage with content in communities online. There's also a growing NFT scene.
Oh yeah, NFTs are huge right now.
Exactly. Projects like Kabu, Moonsheep, they've got this 404 hybrid thing, and the Sad Times NFT and Canna Sapiens, combining cannabis and NFTs. Plus, you've got prediction markets and gambling platforms, Mirrored and Gambler Casino, for example.
Okay, so a really diverse and engaging ecosystem already. And it's not just startups, right? Our research shows some big names are already supporting Abstract.
Absolutely. Magic Eden, we already mentioned them. Dune Analytics, the analytics platform. Layer Zero for cross-chain messaging, all providing crucial infrastructure.
That's a great sign. Shows real confidence.
Yeah, it lays a solid foundation for the future. So speaking of the future, what's the long-term outlook for Abstract? Where do they go from here?
Yeah, beyond the games and the NFTs.
The plan seems to be to move towards more essential services. Things like on-chain credit and lending, insurance, even banking and payments.
Banking and payments on a blockchain.
Yeah, they could leverage stablecoins for things like seamless digital banking, direct merchant payments, that sort of thing.
Okay, so from fun to essential services.
Yeah.
A natural progression.
Right. They're also looking at B2B stuff, SaaS applications, deeper integration with IoT and DePIN, and even DAO-governed consumer networks. Their ultimate goal is to create a full-blown digital economy on Abstract.
That is ambitious. Now, one thing we touched on earlier but worth clarifying. Does Abstract have its own token?
From what we found, no, they don't. They use ZKsync's infrastructure, so they leverage ZKsync's network for settling transactions.
Makes sense.
But here's the cool part. Thanks to native account abstraction, you can pay gas fees on Abstract with pretty much any token.
Oh, wow. That's a game changer.
Right. No need to hunt down a specific Abstract token just to use the network.
Super user-friendly. Now, what about that XP reward system I keep hearing about?
Ah, yes. XP is their native reward system designed to incentivize user engagement.
So like earning points in a game.
Exactly. You get XP for interacting with the blockchain and dApps. It encourages active participation and rewards users.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Okay, so big picture, what are the key takeaways from our deep dive into Abstract?
It boils down to this. Abstract is all about consumer crypto, bringing it to the masses. It's a layer 2 solution on Ethereum, but they're laser focused on user-friendly and engaging apps. gaming, social, entertainment, that kind of thing.
And that abstract global wallet, along with native account abstraction, is a big part of their strategy, right?
Huge. It's about seamless onboarding and ease of use, including the potential for gasless transactions, which is mind-blowing.
Absolutely. They're using proven tech, ZK Stack, and they've already got a thriving ecosystem.
Exactly. And their vision of being a digital amusement park is really clever, making blockchain accessible through fun and intuitive experiences.
So to wrap it all up, here's a question for you to ponder. How could a blockchain like Abstract change your digital life? Could this be the start of a future where Web3 is everywhere, but in a way that's engaging and easy to use?
Right. It's something to think about as we get closer to their mainnet launch. Maybe it's time to check out some of those apps we discussed, or even do a little research on account abstraction.
Definitely worth exploring. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.